everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me today as I do a 2-page layout and do several different techniques. I'm very excited because when I took these photos of my husband, I wanted to make sure that I got the entire process of planting this lantana. We have about 14 lantana that we hang on the deck every year. What I wanted to do is I saw this kind of as a film strip. So I took brown paper, 12 by 12, and cut it down to 6 inches because that will give me my strip that I want in the middle of the page. And then I will be able to lay out my pictures in the order that he was planting these lantana. We like to put the lantana out every year because we have a lot of hummingbirds, probably somewhere between 20 and 50, and I just love the color of them and the hummingbirds love them. Now I need to pull out to mat these photos, either this brown color or perhaps one of the colors in the lantana. I pulled out this Lori Whitlock summer paper, but I don't like the orange, and the red does pop it out some, but we just don't have lantana in all of the pictures. So I really think I'm gonna have to go with that basket color to mat all these. So I'll be back and I'll get these matted with this color here, and I think that pulls it out. When I went to mat these, I noticed there's a white core in the paper. So one technique, if you have a white core, is to find an ink that's pretty close to the color of your paper. I don't have the exact color for this paper, but I have this paper tray ink, terracotta ink, and that will just help the photo mats pop out, and I just like that white to be hidden. The paper that I'm using, that it's brown and terracotta color, came out of a pack of paper that I bought at Michael's, so it just has a white core. I also noticed I had the same problem with the brown paper. Again, I don't have something exact, but I do have this cube by paper tray that I'll use to go around the edges. And now that everything is matted, I want to start laying this out so I can determine my design and placement of the photos and embellishments. Plus, I think I'll be trying to pull out some of the colors here because the page is rather bland. But I'm just trying to get this spaced out to see what I like. I'm going to use this Bow Bunny paper. I pulled out 3 colors that go with the lantana, and I thought this was perfect to accent the page. And I am going to try to get the most use I can out of this paper and use it completely up. I think I'm going to put banners along the bottom. I cut this paper into 1.5 inch strips, and then I cut it at 3 inches to have 2 parts so that I could get 2 banners from each strip of paper. And I just had a small amount of paper left over, but it gave me 4 strips altogether. And I'm just going to cut this banner by cutting down the middle and then cutting from each side to meet in the middle to get my banners across. And I will do this on all the colors that I'll be using at the bottom of the page. Now that I have all of those cut, I have started to work on a pattern to go across the page. I love the fact it just pulls out the colors of those lantana. You'll notice that I'm tucking them under and staggering them. I am trying to get them perfectly on the page on how I would like to glue them down. You'll see in the end when I do go to glue them down, they do not end up the way that I wish them to end up. I wanted white space on each side of the layout and had to move things. But in the end, when gluing it down, it just didn't turn out that way. But that's okay. I'm very happy with how it turned out. Some people would be more perfectionist about it. I tend to be a perfectionist, but I'm not going to be. It just takes away too much time, and I have too many everyday life photos to get into my scrapbook to worry about everything being absolutely perfect. So give yourself a little wiggle room on making everything just so. Now that I have all my banners and I have a few left over that I will save, I need something in this white space. I decided what I needed to do is pull some color up there subtly. I decided to get out my distressed ink and a stencil that is actually called a snow stencil. So you would use this to make snow scenes, but I am going to use it to make pops of color instead of splashing it down, and plus I have polka dots up top. So I am going to use those distressed ink and just distress this page. I have several different tools to use for this method, and I'm using Barn Door squeezed lemonade and marmalade spice. These are distress oxides. And I'm just going to mix the colors in here so that I can get a splash of color. I think it's fun to use a stencil and to find a way to use a stencil outside the box and to just have those beautiful pops of color on the page. We have finished our stenciling. We need to adhere this bottom piece. I adhered the first 3 sides, and then just a tip is slide this underneath real quick to adhere that last block. Now we have all this done. I didn't get it exactly like I want it. I have these stickers that I think I want to use to document the date that I'm planning these. Just so you know, I was able to put 2 pictures on one 4x6 and cut those in half, and so you get 2 for the price of 1 when I upload it to Shutterfly. Now I'm thinking about using this for my date and trying to figure out what type of embellishments I want to use. I start out by pulling this watering can, but I find out later I just don't like the look of the watering can and I want it to do something different. I like these dots too, and that might make a good title or the date. Now I've decided to pull out these Crafter Companion flowers and pull out the colors from my banners to make the flowers, and I'm going to make 3 sets of flowers for the layout. This will give me some places to put my embellishments. I've added the date down here, and I'm going to cover up this mistake with the embellishments. So if you do make a mistake using your stencils, just cover it up with an embellishment, and I will glue these down. Also, I have made the title for the page. It's going to be Flower Power. I guess because we have so many flowers and it just really makes the house look pretty. And I really love this time of year with all the flowers. I'm just starting to use this Bearly art glue for the first time, and I actually really like it. It works out really good and makes it easy to put down the embellishments and not too much glue. I've decided to bunch these across the page. I didn't want to put them at the bottom of the page because it just blended in too much at the bottom of the page, and so these will pop out along with that splattered look at the top that we made with the distressed inks. I'm always scared of splattering, so this was a great way to get that effect without having to splatter. I get the ink everywhere if I splatter it. I think another tip is to make sure you do group your embellishments in odd numbers, and make sure your embellishments on the page are also in odd number places. I think it just makes it look better. I don't always follow that rule, and that's all right. You don't have to follow that rule. But I will be back. I'm going to get these letters adhered down and straight onto the page. Now I have my title. I have showed you how to cut your banners, add stenciling, add your embellishments, as well as pulling out the colors in your page. So there's lots of things going on here. But I really thank you for watching this. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. I hope you come back and you get some inspiration and make your own creative layout. Consider subscribing, and thanks again.